No, don't play. Not yet. Oh fuck. Oh my god. The illusion. It's been broken. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Oh fuck. Oh god. Wait. Shit. Oh no. And fit the screen. Yay. And then this thing. I just wanted to make you. Nope. Just a little bigger. Yay. Yay. Oh shit, I forgot I was trying to find. Okay, wait, where's that? Because I saved a picture. Hi! I am doing things because oh god, I've dedicated myself to this at this point. Let's see, where is the tree? What? Oh, no, let's see, wait, where did I put the favored tree reference? Shit. Is it just like on my desktop? It probably is. Yeah. I'm just gonna bop. Yeah. Okay. Ah. I often say ah. Okay. This is just a reference. Because I'm gonna crank it up just a little bit and do the funny. This bit. Turns out it's too loud for me to hear the stream in this environment. Oh dear. Oh god, dude. Huh. Let's see. How do I want to do this? So, having obviously the. Well, actually, wait a minute. I gotta have my sketch size of 1. So in this shot, Madoka is the center, and the tree is just kind of there. I feel like having the favored tree. Yeah. Hi. I'm gonna continue watching the Six Hearts Princess video. Yeehaw.
Did before. This whole quest started back in 2020. At the time, there were only 2 episodes available with English subtitles. From there, I could only find a few clips of the transformations and some miscellaneous scenes. I only found the other 5 full episodes unsubbed this year. Then did my best to try and understand it myself with my limited understanding of Japanese. Then, all of a sudden, the next 2 episodes are subtitled. About a week later, so were the rest of them. I was utterly flabbergasted, and I still am. This series had been stagnant for years. The last episode aired in 2019, and the 2 subtitle ones were all that we had since the beginning of the pandemic. And then, all of a sudden, it's just all here? Well, as it turns out, I was able to find the fan subber who did this. And
nope.
They're the same person who did the first 2 episodes
Walk.
all those years ago. Talking to them has been great, and I even learned a lot more about the series. So, thank you so much. The show begins with...
God. Putting together this compilation was fun because it's just like, what the fuck is happening?
This happening, which we will get back to. From here, we jump into the actual story and meet Haruka, a young, hyperactive, eccentric, and theater-loving girl who's a fan of the Heart Princesses, a group of 3 girls who battle against monsters known as Sin Beasts and protect the city. Later that day, during the Folk Arts Club meeting, which consists of Haruka and her friend Tamaki, they decide that for the upcoming school
I feel
festival,
like if
they'll do a musical.
I do that,
Earlier that day, Haruka had a vision of a city full of cats, like they were
Yeah, okay.
magically
I like that better.
broadcasted into her head. We learn later that the cats aren't just some imaginary story she thought of, as that night she's visited by Jin. Jin explains that she
Let's
is part of a
see.
race called the Moon Cats, who maintain balance in the world by guarding the heart spheres. The Sin Beasts are created by the Land Wolves, who are trying to steal the spheres from the cats. It is the princess's duty to protect the heart spheres and defeat Sin Beasts. So basically, the characters are given a magical item that both allows them to transform and that the villains are trying to steal. There's a magical plot that determines the fate of the world, and the slice of life plot that serves as motivation
Let's
and
see.
insight into the characters. It seems pretty standard, and yet that summary, while not incorrect, doesn't quite capture the oddities that this series holds. Being completely honest, having watched and rewatched these 7 episodes several, and I do mean several times, I am still very
I gotta draw
confused.
loop.
The first 2 episodes sort of establish a baseline for the series. Monsters attack city, princesses defeat monster. But even
Come on
then, there's
now.
more in those first 2 episodes that feel all over the place.
Yeah, okay.
Aside from that, the whole series just feels like things happen, the anime. Episode 4 has like 3 different plots going on, none of which are properly explored. Episode 5 feels like it literally has an entirely different episode just spliced into it randomly, but we'll get to that
Come
later
on, Luke, work
because
with me
there
here.
is more to a story than its plot. What can truly carry a story are the characters. Yeah, it's hard to pin any of them down. Outside of Haruka, Tamaki, and Fusanosuke, everyone else sort of feels unsubstantial.
You know, give me
So-
a second. Wait, I gotta look up the In Stars in Time animated trailer. Give me a second. Give me a second. All right. What is loop? Oh, it's so fucking beautiful. God, hey, wait a minute. Let's look at this, cause the shit's beautiful. It's, oh God. Oh. Okay, so wait, so Loop's head isn't. Okay, so it's one solid, or it's like one little shape. Okay. Let's see, wait, is that, cause that's the Nintendo Switch trailer. Is there just like release trailer? Like an anime? Cause I feel like I could have sworn there was more to that shot. And now I'm just getting a lot of animatics. Which are all hella cool, but you know. Oh, Accolades trailer. Nope. Whatever. I kind of have the answer that I wanted. Cool.
So, Haruka Honey is the pink princess. She's ditzy
Alright, we're
but
good now.
dedicated. She's cheerful and loves to help people. You know this type of character, and that's totally fine. Tropes and archetypes aren't the downfall of good storytelling.
Now I gotta look
They're
up
the
a
building
Loop
blocks of
reference.
it. Things that would set Haruka apart from her trope are what make her character. Mainly, she's a bit of a loon, and I say that affectionately.
Loon was the best word that
While
I could
it was
think
probably
of for
because of some
Haruka.
magical predestined stuff, the way she explains her ideas as images flying into her head that I thought was weird at first really grew on me. Another thing that makes Haruka stand out is her character animation. She is, by far, the most expressive and animated out of the entire cast. Every emotion is exaggerated to such a delightful extent. The way her twin tails flutter around when she's excited or lift up like an ear when listening to someone is genuinely really good. My only issue is that some of the visual gags used are used multiple times and they sort of lose their charm the more you see it. Tamaki starts the series as a polite and soft-spoken girl, but as it goes on and she's actually given things to do, we see that she's a lot bolder than originally thought. One of the art books that I have mentioned how this trait of hers will push the story forward in the future, and by the end of these 7 episodes we can already see that. We have a flashback in episode 2 about how when she was a child, she and a bunch of others were attacked by some kind of bandit gang, but she was saved by a wolf who turned out to be Fusanosuke. Of course, she doesn't know that until later in the story, and it's that suspicion and connection to Fusanosuke that leads Tamaki to reject being a heart princess at first. Fusanosuke is a little different in that his character is only really good when it's playing off either Haruka or Tamaki. This is mainly because we don't see much else. When he's on his own or with the other antagonists, he's just sort of a cool, edgy dude, which I can respect. I mean, I like him better than the other wolf guys, who are all essentially the same character. There's Wan, Shijo, and... oh my god. I don't know this dude's name.
六角土犬族の戦うべき相手が
Rokaku? As for the other princesses, there really isn't much there either. Ami's personality is... well, her virtue is righteousness. And the episode she's introduced has stuff about how she wants to protect the things she loves and looking up to her mom, who beat up these guys one time. According to her, she isn't the type of person to throw herself at people. And, Yukari is really funny, because from the earlier iterations, she seemed to be the shy, smart one, but here she isn't shy at all. Yukari is the disciplinary chair of the student council.
I love Yukari.
She's quite
She's still
stern
the
with
best.
Haruka, and her deadpan, just everything, gets me every time. She is still my favorite. And the senior princesses, whose names are not mentioned in the show. There's literally only one time any of their names are ever spoken, so if you only ever watched the show,
I still can't believe
you would
that.
only know the gold one's name. The only reason I know them is because I looked it up online and I have the art books, but that's aside the point. Kanade is an androgynous tomboy, Makoto is mischievous and cheeky, Megumi is rich. And I mean, yep, they sure are those things. And if you're looking for any kind of dynamic or fun character interactions, I've got some bad news for you. Because these characters barely interact with one another. Haruka and Tamaki are obviously close, and it's super cute. These two act as sort of the core of the series and its story. At least I think. It's hard to tell at this point. Ami spends her introductory episode being annoyed by Haruka before ultimately relenting and joining the Princess Squad. After that, I don't know, she just kind of is there. Yukari has the most identifiable personality after Haruka. She's strict, no nonsense, and acts as a good straight man for all the bullshit going on. What sucks is she isn't actually in the show all that much. Episode 3, she's just the disciplinary chair who keeps Haruka from stripping in front of Ami, which, thank you for your service. Episode 4, she shows up once so Kanamori can be all, aren't you a princess candidate?
What?
Never mind, lol. Yeah, real nice foreshadowing there. And 5, when she actually becomes a princess, we don't get a lot of moments with her after that, because the show is just throwing random bullshit at us. There are good moments between some of these characters, but nothing that feels substantial. Nothing that grows or develops. What's weird and kind of frustrating is that they aren't even all together until episode 5. They're supposed to be our main cast of girls fighting monsters, but we don't ever see them hanging out.
I do.
The
wish
senior
we-
princesses might as well just be a single character with how they're pretty much
I'm
always
so sad
together.
that all their
The only reason
weapons
I
are just
imagine
all
that
the
they
same
aren't
thing.
is
They
due
were
to the plot
originally
and story
different, but nope.
requiring 3 characters so that they can have banter between each other. Banter that isn't really even good. Like, the same joke every time is that the green one makes a pun or wordplay, and the purple one explains it or says it wasn't funny. To explain my points a bit further, I'm gonna go through both episodes 4 and 5 in their entirety, because those I think act best as microcosms of the whole show. Episode 4 takes
looks a
place
little-
at the school and opens up with the senior princesses
Too much like
interrogating the
Lupus
Mooncats,
staring
who are
directly
all
at
just
the
sort of in
viewer.
their human form for funsies. Instead of subtly suggesting that the cats maybe don't have the girls' best interests at heart, the show basically points a flashing arrow with the word suspicious written on it. Basically, the windmills around the city only ever turn when the princesses transform to fight a sin beast, and there are huge cables underneath. Shin wonders where they got the map, to which that is never answered. Introduction to Kanamori, who's absolutely not suspicious in any way. Then it's dude time. We got the dudes having a dude session, chatting in the gym's closet.
that works. That
Talking
kinda
about the
works.
princesses and how 2 more will awaken, and this whole scene, I really don't know what to make of. Like, they're talking about the princesses and fighting them and all
But
that.
I feel
Then
like it
about the
needs-
masked man.
No,
that's been
no, you're
helping
not
them.
late at all.
Juan is
Again,
all,
you
"Why
can't
should
really
we
be
let
late
him
when
boss
there's no
us around?"
schedule.
And Fusanosuke is like, I don't know, I just wanted to. Then Blue Man pops out talking
Blue
about the
Man.
blue princess, and from the blush, I guess he thinks she's cute, but he never saw her. Especially not during the transformation
feel
sequence,
like-
but whatever.
Hmm.
And then Juan is like, alright, if we're taking pics, then I get the gold. And like, I don't know, it's just such a strange interaction. The concept itself is fine. In
Feel
fact,
like-
I really
yeah.
like it, and it's kind of cute how these middle schoolers who are fighting an ancient war are like, okay, so hypothetically, if you had to date one of our mortal enemies, which one would you pick? But the way it's presented is a bit hard to really get. Like, really
Let's
think
see,
about how
wait.
the conversation went. Why should we listen to the masked man?
Why?
I don't know. Isn't that just fine? That blue girl, hee hee, kung fu pose.
I don't
I
understand the
may just be
dialogue in the
stupid.
show. It's great.
But that's odd.
Oh, it's
anyway,
Six
time
Hearts
for class
Princess.
Now. Also, just to add more
Watch
anime
my
tropes,
documentary.
Megumi, the perfect, pretty, rich girl, is also the student council president. Kanamori is confirmed to be attractive by a hallway of middle schoolers ogling over him. There's a cute moment between Makoto and Kanade, like
Let's
this.
see.
This is how friends act. I wish we had more of it. Then, out of class, and the purple cat flips a table. The only justification we get is
もううるさいわね。何やってんの？そりゃちゃぶ台があったらちゃぶ台返しでしょうが。
Green one senses a gate because I guess Chu has the power to sense gates. What's a gate, you ask? God, I wish I knew.
Why-
Anyway,
what
now
are
we
the
get to our
gates? I
main
don't know.
characters where Ami is in the friend group and she brings a bunch of food from the restaurant, which is cute. It's like her mom is happy she's hanging
Okay.
out with friends and wanted to treat
Oh, that's
them.
a show I almost
Though
forgot
it
about.
seems
Yeah.
Haruka is having
Oh, I
trouble
won't let
with the
anyone
story
fucking
of their
forget about it.
musical. Back to the cats sneaking around the school. Run into Makoto and Kanade. Now they're in a chase sequence. Back to the folk arts club. Haruka's story isn't the best. Actually, it makes no sense. Kanamori walks in and we finally see his face in this big dramatic reveal, and I am left very underwhelmed. He's just sort of a dude. Then he's all,
He's
hey
a guy.
guys, I'm your club advisor now. And just, alright, are you keeping up? Because now it's time for the weirdest eye catch ever.
Every episode has this dead silence, T-pose and characters, harsh sound effects.
Back to the show,
so
and dude,
funny.
weren't you just at school? Why are you suddenly at a mass graveyard brooding? Juan and Rikaku are still at school, so where the hell did you
I
go?
gotta bring-
Oh, they run into that gate thing that's just sort of in a stairwell. They know what it is, and they're like magically drawn to it, but Kanamori shuts that shit down, leaving them to do their best Blair Witch impression. Girls are
I have
chasing
never
the
seen
cats
the
in
Blair
the gym.
Witch Project.
The two princesses leave, and the cats are found in the closet by the wolf who annoys me the most, whose head pops out of his
The only
stupid
thing I
fursuit
remember from this-
with a dumb
Okay.
fart noise. Big chase now.
The
Juan
NFT
and
things. A
Rikaku
lot of
heard
people,
Shijo's house,
me,
so they're coming
have
up to support.
theorized that the
Kanade and
reason
Makoto heard it, so they're going
Murakami
back
got
for a rescue,
into
and Megumi saw the
NFTs
situation
is
outside the window.
like in an
Cut to
attempt
Haruka
to
in
get
class.
funding
She's falling
for
asleep
Six
while
Hearts
teaches
Princess.
some world building. She suddenly shouts because her nose bubble popped, and now she has to stand outside class holding water buckets as punishment.
Yeah.
Back to the cats being chased, and there's
Dude,
this
watch my
very
documentary.
weird shot. I don't understand. Cats make it to the gate, and Chu is given the best animation out of anyone this
I
whole
love
episode.
Chu.
Just overall a very fun character. Perfect little meme child. So they find the gate and they're like, perfect, we can escape, which I thought they already got away. I mean, we as an audience know that they didn't get away because we saw the wolf boys behind the trees, but whatever. Cats are caught. Kanamori closes the gate. Also, the art of Juan holding the cats down is really weird. I guess it's supposed to be foreshortening and such, but they're outside now, trying to get the cats to
see.
talk. Then the senior princesses show up and transform in front of the wolves after announcing themselves because fuck their secret identities, I guess. Megumi is all, how dare you show up at school? Like, girl, maybe these guys go to school too? This whole confrontation confuses me, and I feel like these girls didn't get as much when it comes to the transformation budget, but whatever. The fight builds up. Cut to Haruka outside of class holding the buckets, dreaming about cats. Fight building up. Tamaki wakes her up, saying the lesson is over. Build up to fight. Haruka wants to practice the musical, and if you think these scenes are cutting between one another because the stories we've been following are going to converge, then you are dead wrong, you idiot. Why would the story follow a logical conclusion?
Oh God, I
the
have no
cats are
idea
sus
how
as
I'm gonna
hell.
do
Fight
this.
begins. And Juan, you said you wanted to fight the gold one. Why are you not fighting her? Not much happens. It doesn't last long.
Ah.
Sinbi summoned,
go.
running at each other. Then bam! Here comes Tuxedo Mask. It's the masked man, though, that's been working with the wolves. But he destroys the Sinbis, and the wolves retreat for some reason. And the princesses are like, "Who the fuck?" And the masked man walks away, saying they will meet again when the vessel is full. And end episode. I really, truly hope I got across just how much of a wild ride this episode is. It jumps all
nope,
around.
go back.
Makes no
Oh.
effort to actually connect its stories and just
Okay.
confuses me. Like, what the actual hell is
Let's
happening?
Do
Oh, but the
ground.
train ride doesn't end there because the next episode it's train time. Oh my god. Episode
Train.
5. Kanamori has completely taken over the operation of the play. It's time
Leaves.
for a goddamn training session. So
Oh,
this dude
discount
takes these
tuxedo
4
mask.
girls on
Yep,
what I
that's what I said.
desperately hope is a school-sanctioned field trip. Also, the conductor is straight up a robot. I love him. All my friends love him. He's cool. Also, while we don't see it in the show, in the design book I got, we see that under his hat is just a brain in a jar. Am I going to question that? No! Train is going, and also there's a yellow cat now. If you don't know anything about
the
this
fucking
series,
yellow
unlike
cat.
me, who now knows everything, then this cat just shows up. Must be
Let's
very
see.
weird. Fuck you. Ami asks where they're going. Kanamori says the boundary at the end of the world and then laughs. Bad sign. Red
See.
flag.
Oh God, there's so many
Kanamori
grays.
puts all the work on Yukari, who's
Oh,
like,
but
wait,
it's
what?
so
And then he
pretty.
calls in the boys, who are just sort of vibing. I don't know why Fusanosuke is the only one not in his fursuit. Maybe because he's supposed to be the hot one? Anyway, random cut to the senior princesses who are using their, like, monster fighting spell as a drill. How did they figure out they could do that? Well, we just cut to them doing it. Then as they're drilling, one of the other characters says out loud, "We're using it as a drill?" Thereby completely lampshading the entire situation. Anyway, there's a cavern with magma, which isn't really suspicious. Like, you dug into the earth. You found molten rock. Congrats. But I guess there's some sus stuff going on. Shin is like, wow, I hope a gate doesn't open up this time. Anyway, guess what shows up? Blue Wolf Boy, making a sin beast. But guess what else shows up? A gate, baby! Just spits them right out on time for a plot to happen. Monster puts the train in danger. Princesses fight monster. Ray shows up to Yukari randomly, and I hate this stupid yellow cat. I don't know why, but something about its voice irks me. Normally that wouldn't be a problem, but what is a problem is how it just keeps going, hey, become the yellow princess, and Yukari is reasonably hesitant, to which Ray just sort of pops that heart sphere into her leg. Super cool thing to do without explicit permission, but whatever, fuck the rules. Oh god, I'm taking a long time. Best transformation sequence, all 6 princesses fight, then a giant gate opens up and swallows the girls and the train, and there's just... What? What? You think that's a good cliffhanger for the episode to end on? Nope, there's more, motherfucker!
You can hear me losing my
Okay,
mind
I
in
need
real
to calm
time.
down. There's just a lot. The giant portal just opens up. Did Kanamori predict where it would open, or can he control them? What about the one that brought the senior princesses here? When the girls get sucked in, their cats come too, but then we see that separately the cats get sucked in, saying that the dimensional fusion is being torn apart or something. Oh, by the way, Tamaki overheard the wolves and is now on to the fact that Fusanosuke is probably a wolfie and the one that saved her as a kid. Also, there's a black cat now. Also, Kanamori is standing on the train dramatically. Second eye catch with an updated graphic for the second part that we will never see again. They're in a snowy place and all the girls are untransformed and the cats are nowhere to be found. Haruka's surplus of clothes come in handy for the group, and Ami is about to be like, oh hey, where did you 3 come from to fight the Sin Beast? To which Megami shuts her up. When have these 2 characters ever met? When did they meet? Oh god, my head hurts. Trek through the snow, they're at a mansion, and the boys are here, which Ami is weirdly upset. But there hasn't been a rivalry built up between these 2 groups. Literally, the only interactions we've seen is Fusanosuke sorta hanging out with Haruka and Tamaki, like, twice. Hey, check out this painting that's gonna be important later, and bath scene. This bit is funny, though. And this. Time to sing, and now the senior princesses are involved because they're here, I guess. Were they part of the club before? I don't know, but they're here. And, like, this scene could work. Kanamori's eccentric antics are funny, especially when he makes the boys join in too. But this kind of stuff mixed in with the weird, enigmatic mastermind thing don't really mesh well. He's trying so hard to be Kotaro from Zombieland Saga, and it just isn't working. Tamaki confirms that Fusanosuke is the wolf who saved her. Haruka follows a ghost to the painting from before and gets a key. Then they just pop right
I wonder
back
what
out of
that
the
key's
wormhole,
gonna
and
be
everyone is
for.
friends
I
now, I
genuinely
guess.
wanna
And the
know.
3 main people are staring out the window like the protagonists they are. New ending credits scene.
Yeah.
God, I need a nap after this. It
I
feels
did not
as
take a
if
nap because
the
I hate
series
naps.
starts to unravel the more it goes on. Things become more and more confusing, and it feels like as if the story is being written as they go, which is highly likely. Again, the production of this show is rather disorganized and seems to
No,
struggle
that's not
every
the color
step
I
of
want.
the way for one reason or another. Oh boy! So, story things happen. Tamaki ends up confronting Fusanosuke, and we get a lore dump. Basically, the Mooncats are working for the god of fire, who lives underneath the earth and wants to escape the planet. And to get the energy required for that, they use the heart spheres, which gathers energy within the princesses every time they fight a Sin Beast. And if the god of fire ever escapes the planet, it's just kablooey. It's the cluster from Steven Universe. Personally, the solution seems to be not to summon the Sin Beasts, but I guess no one asked me. Tay forces Tamaki to be a princess even though she already had the peony mark, but Masked Man comes up, stabs her with a cursed jewel, and now she's a Sin Beast. Gate opens up. Fight with the princesses happen because apparently they
part
know
Sin
she's
Beast,
evil, even though
and I
like
want
2
her-
seconds ago they were like, the new princess! So, something that my friends pointed out when I forced them to watch this with me is if Tamaki is supposed to be half Sin Beast now, shouldn't she look more monsterish? Because the Sin Beasts before have all been pretty varied in their designs and ability, but Tamaki is just sort of in princess form going feral. Also, Why can't Haruka or any of the others recognize who the Black Princess is? She knew who Blue was when Ami first transformed, so like aside from the plot, what reason is there? It's the plot. Fight with some screamo music, they're all separated for whatever reason, and Wolfie saves Tamaki again. And here's where Fusanosuke becomes a character that I sort of care about. Because despite Tamaki being a heart princess now, he still saves her because he could clearly see that she didn't want any of that. So she's brought back to the Wolf Boy cave where he explains that 600 years ago, the princesses did a big murder, but the wolves were saved from genocide because one of the princesses betrayed the other and led the wolves to this new refuge. It's also pretty cool of Fusanosuke to not pressure Tamaki into anything. Despite what's seemingly at stake, he just says to follow her heart. That's pretty cool. It seems like Kanamori wrote the rest of the play, and while rehearsing, Haruka thinks, hey, sacrifices are pretty messed up, and she wants to change it. We are only left to assume that the play about the village of cats is a parallel to the real history of the Moon Cats. So Haruka saying something feels wrong about the sacrificial stuff is a reflection of something. God, I don't know. Tamaki and Haruka get on a train to go to the land of Never Forgotten to do some soul searching and
I don't
end
know
up
what the land of
witnessing the
Never
events
Forgotten
from
is, so I'm gonna
600
be
years
real.
ago. Just go with it. We see the woman from the painting with a wolf who resembles Fusanosuke trying to stop the fighting between cats, humans, and the wolves. And I have to state again, this is the worst character design choice I have ever seen. And putting them in clothes just makes it worse. The past princesses show up. Pretty cool. And let me just say
Oh,
here,
here's my bit.
why are you yellow? You are clearly orange. Your entire outfit is orange. Why is this one gold? She should be yellow. And like, what kind of color scheme is that? We got pink, blue, yellow. Okay, cool. But purple, green, and gold? You had a primary, secondary color thing going on. Just bite the bullet. Make someone orange. You are yellow and you are orange. Fuck you. Skipping a lot of stuff. The wolf Fusagi and the final princess Fuyuse combined their powers to put an end to this war. And the results? I think we saw those in episode 1. The changes to the play are accepted, and Tamaki talks to Fusanosuke. She'll become the
fuck?
Black Princess and talk to the others if he and the other
why?
wolves stop
Why?
making
What?
sin
Why?
beasts. Set up for more plot, and that's all
What
she
is
wrote.
going on the other
The
side,
thing
and why
that
is
really
is
sucks
there
is
not
this is
here
the
on
most
chat? What do you
interesting
mean on the other
storyline so
side?
far. But because
little
of the shaky
confused.
production line, as well as the pandemic and funds presumably running low, we don't get any more. Does that mean I'll finally stop screaming about it? Hell no! And you're gonna listen to my crazy ramblings because you're already like 30 minutes into this, and that's the sunk cost fallacy, baby.
Okay, let's see.
Brum. As you can tell by the length of this video, I have a lot of thoughts about this series, both because I just like Magical Girl shows, as well as its connection to an artist I really like and my personal history with it. To sort of wrap everything up, here's where I just want to throw around some other thoughts I have on the show that I wasn't really able to properly fit in anywhere else. First, according to
What the hell?
Wikipedia, Six Hearts Princess takes inspiration from a classic literary work known as Nanso Satomi Hakenden. It released volumes from
The hell? Come
1814
on.
to 1842. From what I can tell, it's something that's taught in Japanese schools and literary classes, sort of like To Kill a Mockingbird or Call of the Wild here in America.
Why
It's
is
a
this not-
well-known and culturally popular thing over there. I will give you a brief summary from what I have researched, and there are some parts that might sound familiar. One day, while his kingdom is attacked, Lord Satomi makes a joke, saying that if the family dog brings him the head of the enemy leader, he will offer the hand of his daughter, Princess Fusei, in marriage. Though, as it turns out, the dog was actually a vengeful spirit that cursed the Satomi clan. Not only that, but Fusei is super polite to a fault, so even if it was a joke, if the dog did what was asked, she would marry it. After a while, the dog spirit is purified, but Fusei still becomes
Can
pregnant
you
with
imagine,
half-dog
like,
children.
your dog
So after the dog
is
killed,
accidentally
Fusei takes
a
her own
fucking,
life.
like,
But as she does
demon?
so, the spirits of the 8 pups
Like, what-
flee
how do
her
you-
belly,
how do you
each
cope
of
with
them
that?
taking one of her crystal prayer beads with one of the Confucian virtues on them. Born into different families, the children each have a peony-shaped bruise identifying them as Fusei's children. 16 years later, a monk wanders to find Fusei's lost children and bring them together as the 8 dog warriors. So, while there are some obvious differences, the inspiration is clear, especially when it comes to the significance of the 8 Confucius virtues and the peony bruises. Jin,
This stream,
Gi,
there's some
Rei,
guy saying-
Qi, Shu, Xin, Ko, and Tei. You will note that
What
these
the
are
hell?
the names of the moon cats.
What the hell? Give me a second.
Yeah, Alexis, I think that's just on your end. I don't see anything like that.
Because there's definitely nothing going on my end. I'm just vibing. I'm trying to animate and get this stupid fucking tree to be good. Also, hello, Shadow Milk Cookie. Huh.
And they loosely translate to benevolence,
on,
justice, politeness, wisdom, loyalty, faith, final piety, and brotherhood/respect. I've seen it both ways. This has been a really cool thing that I enjoyed researching a whole bunch.
I would not be happy if
Also,
my
the
dog
fact
was a
that the
demon.
mother of
True.
the dog children is named Fusei. Well, the 8th princess's name Fuyusei was something I picked up on and I thought was really neat. This whole thing is neat. I like learning.
I like
Now,
learning.
there
I
are
do
some
like
minor
learning.
things I want to mention.
But
Like, in episode
let's
2, when
see.
the senior princesses show up, they all have their own unique weapons and unique attack names, but after that, we never see them again. They all just
See,
get a katana
Like, if this guy
Haruka,
knew how
which
a
is
toilet
really
worked
a
for all these
shame,
years,
because
I
I like when each character
That's
gets their
funny.
own unique weapon. Same thing happens with Ami
what?
in episode
Why is the
3.
gray not
She
being
has
gray?
her own unique weapon that's specific to her, but the rest of the time she just has a sword.
Okay, cool.
To be fair, though, it is a different type of blade, which I
Okay,
really
that's
like.
good.
And if
It's
they were all
on
going
screen.
to have
I
some
swear
kind of
I'm not
sword, I feel like
joking.
there should
When
have
the
been
stream
more
is done,
variations.
You'll see it.
It's really cool how the first Sin Beast we
I
see grows
don't
trees
know
and wood
what
around
you're
itself,
talking about.
Then uses its
Is
sword
it
to
still
carve
going
itself
on?
into a boat to get to the city. That was just straight up neat. The Sin Beasts are all well thought out too. Speaking of episode 3, they just straight up have an Ed, Ed, Eddie sound effect.
Please let go of my leg, Ed.
I'm not making any
I
specific
tried looking
statements
through
with
the
this,
stream and I
but
don't
when I
see it.
realized
Why
this, I
Adobe
lost it.
Animate? These are
It's
3
so
different
funny.
shades
This
of
is also
gray.
the episode
Why
where
are
we
you
meet
not
Stupid Orange Boy.
picking that up?
Thousands are dead, by the way. This thing was summoned in the middle of a populated area, and with all
These
the
are-
damage it does,
What is
people are dead.
happening?
There is blood on this boy's hands. There's also this part that implies the boys
These
are
are
directly
3
controlling
different
the
shades
beast
of
too.
gray.
Like, Shijo does this stupid little
Animate.
kick, and then immediately after we see
This
the
is
Sin Beast
this
do a
is
kick.
white.
But there isn't another instance
What?
of something like this happening. Also, how did they roll up this hill? I noticed this and it's bothering me now. I'm not a fan of how self-aware the show seems to be in the first 2 episodes.
Hey,
Haruka
Alexis,
asking
that's
if this is her transformation
really
item
weird.
and asking what kind of system is that?
don't.
Comes across
Huh.
as very hollow. Like trying to
Is
give
it
a little
still
wink,
going
wink,
on?
nudge, nudge, without
That's
properly understanding why certain tropes are in magical girl shows to begin with. You could argue that magical
Let's see,
girls
come
are
on.
a pre-existing thing in this world, what with Haruka being a fan of the Heart Princesses. But as far as we know, the Heart Princesses have only ever shown up
Ah.
once before. The wolves say that the first Sin Beast summoned is what triggered the awakening of
looks like
purple,
the guy
gold,
stopped
and green.
thankfully because what
So
that guy
how
said
does
was
the
very mean.
public know about the
That's
Heart
incredibly
Princesses?
confusing. I
Nothing is
don't know
explained, and
how
oh God,
or
I'm
what
reading
that
too hard
even
about this.
would
The
be.
self-awareness Haruka has in the first 2 episodes is shallow.
That's odd.
And it doesn't even stick
And
around long enough to
Did
justify
anyone
its own
else like
existence.
experience that?
Alright, wait, I'm stuck on the compact system. So, after Haruka's first fight, there are 2 gems in the compact. There are 8 spots in total for gems to go in. Now, I believe that a gem is added after every Sin Beast is defeated. And this isn't individual. We see in other transformations that it stacks between all of them. What does this mean? I don't know, we're never told. Well, actually,
Me
okay,
and my
so
theory
we're told that the
crafting.
Sin Beasts respond to one of the 7 deadly sins.
Correspond.
And there are 8 Confucian virtues. So, like, maybe the gem colors match up with that? So, I was trying to see which colored gem belongs to Orge by looking at Haruka's first transformation, except all the gems are there. Okay? Okay? So, the first Sin Beast that we can actually match a gem up to is Gastromargia. And yes, I know their names. Gastromargia is
I do
most
know their
likely
names.
linked to gluttony because its name seemingly comes from gastrointestinal, and it eats a lot. The gem that the girls get after it's defeated is pink, which is linked to
I've seen. I
benevolence.
obviously so cat. Do you? Yeah.
Did you
Eh.
see it?
Huh. Maybe there isn't anything else to it. Though Okanaria is pretty cool. It's probably related to sloth as it's described as getting in everyone's way and not really moving around. And there's some cool stuff about it in the art books. It has a sort of mother and child thing going on. The top part is the mother giving out orders, but when the mother is killed, the child goes on a rampage. Neat! Then the Sin Beast we
see.
see when Haruka and Tamaki travel into the past is just
Oh,
straight up
no.
an Aztec god. Huh. Speaking of time discrepancies and plot holes I'm gonna point out, this is one that actually seriously bothers me. But what are the rules for the peony marks? Okay, so, episode 5. They're in a hot springs, and Haruka sees a mark on Tamaki, says she has one too, then points one out on Yukari. Yukari then states it just pops out every now and then. But you just got it? Literally this episode. Then there's a discrepancy with Tamaki already having a peony mark before Tei approaches her. This confuses me deeply. It seemed to me that the rule was each mark manifests itself while doing princess things, like transforming or absorbing the Sin Beast's energy after defeating it to revive a long slumbering god. But I guess it's more like the original Hakenden, where they're like birthmarks. Except, no, we see how they very distinctly are not. Before Ami becomes a princess,
Why
we
did that
see
happen?
her bare back, and there's no mark. Megami and Kanade's marks are on their faces, and those aren't visible most of the time. Also, if these girls have had these marks since birth, don't you think they would have noticed them by now? Why is this a surprise? I sort of understand the idea of a mark that only shows up in specific
No,
circumstances,
nope.
because I actually have a scar that only shows up when I'm overheated. So all their magic
Oh, no.
tattoos appearing in a hot springs makes sense to me. But everything else, what are the rules? In episode 2, it
Oh,
looks
God.
like Megami is specifically looking
Trying to
towards
animate
her
a loop.
peony mark on her So, the
Loop.
hot springs scene. I dislike it because it feels really gross with just how much they try to toe the line, but also show as much bare skin on these 14-year-olds as possible. But in the character art book, they're talking about the hot springs scene
Let's see.
and said how they can be really nasty if you do it poorly. But they wanted to show a group of
Let's see,
friends
wait, I gotta
having
look
a
up.
nice
What's
warm
loop?
moment all together.
And
And I can see
Riff.
what they were trying
Come
to
on,
do.
give me a
because
loop.
there are some bits that are funny and that you think would only happen between friends who are comfortable with each other and all that. Also, Yukari's comment about how she can't bother to be the disciplinary chair when she's naked is funny. But the idea of warm, wholesome friendship happening is kind of sidetracked by just how these girls are shown and how much detail is given to like the
Let's
shape and
see.
curve of their bodies and stuff.
Little dots whole body.
Oh boy. As stated previously, Tamaki's storyline about becoming the Black Princess and her past history with Fusanosuke is genuinely the most interesting part of the series. There's betrayal and suspicion, and it's so seriously cool.
Line.
Though, there is this weird bit of animation when Tamaki's hand clenches the fake note written to get her and Fusanosuke together to get her to be a princess. When Tei is meeting Kanamori about how to get Tamaki to become the Black Princess, Tei says they should use Fusanosuke because the virtue of the Black Princess is love for one's older brother, and that sort of connection is never really expanded upon. I don't quite get what was happening there, especially because Yukari doesn't exactly scream politeness. I love Yukari though, it's fine.
So
And-
actually, the fan subber, the person who subbed Six Hearts Princess, they're the ones who translated it as politeness. But after like my video came out and they watched it, and I felt really cool because I was like, hee. They said, yeah, so Yukari's like her like virtue more so instead of politeness is closer to tradition. So like that explains her being the disciplinary chair and all that stuff, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So that is a little bit of like a mistranslation, if anything. But honestly, I just think that's cool in and of itself, because it's like, wow, that's neat.
When Tamaki is half princess, half sin beast, we see what's going on in her mind as she's being taunted by all these different people trying to lead her down different paths. What I think it was going for is Tamaki being confused and not knowing who to trust. Except that doesn't make sense. Tamaki has no reason not to trust Fusanosuke. He saved
Yeah.
her when they were younger, and she knows him at school because presumably they've had more interactions than the literal only 2 times we've seen. Fusanosuke basically explains why the wolves are summoning sin beasts, why they need the heart spheres, and basically explains in every way why the wolves are the good guys. Tei just says, you should fight sin beasts for funsies, as if that's an argument. My boy, Fusanosuke, brings out a whole history lesson explaining why
Well,
the
the
Earth
8
Wolves do
virtues
what they do,
originate from
and Tei's
Confucianism,
argument
which
is
does
just
value
source, dude,
politeness and
trust.
associates
Then later
it
in
with
Tamaki's
tradition.
mind conflict,
Okay,
the
that's
masked
another
man
thing
shows up,
too.
which is
So
even
I
more
think
baffling
what
because Tamaki
the
literally
subber was trying to do was to like translate it and be like, yeah, politeness, because that would be simpler to understand. I don't know, but that's very interesting, and that's like part of the reason why I found my goodness, pardon me, Six Hearts Princess so interesting is because there are so many layers to it. Like, that's really, really cool. Like, there's layers in terms of, like... And the character Rei represents both manner and tradition because they're somewhat synonymous in Confucianism. That's really cool. And you know what? If it wasn't for Six Hearts Princess, I would have never known that. That's really, really cool. Like, it's just, knowledge is cool. Humans are cool. God, dude, we're just like we're just animals that are all over the planet, and we're like, yo, let's make cool ass things. And the rest of humanity's like, fuck yeah. I love that. That's so cool. Yeah.
Doesn't know him except for being the guy who stabbed her with a magic knife jewel that made her all evil and such. And by the end of it, Tamaki is like, I'll only trust myself. And the whole thing is just a confusing mess. Also, Fusanosuke goes through the gate, and we see him land in the library.
And then nothing
and then
happens.
He just isn't acknowledged at all. As if there isn't a giant dire wolf in the room with the others. Alright, now it's time for my personal corner of crazy theories. So, there are 8 princesses in total. Why is it called Six Hearts Princess then? No idea. Maybe because in the current era we only have those first 6? Though Tamaki has agreed to become the 7th princess, that still leaves one more missing.
Okay.
This is presumably due to the fact that the last white princess, Fuyuse, willingly gave her heart sphere to become a sin beast. But there's
By the
still
way,
a missing element
a
here.
Clerdle, I
The cat.
assumed that
Every
character that you
princess has
just
a
typed
cat
was
that is
Rei,
named after their
because,
respective
Gin, Rei,
virtues.
Ki, Q,
You
Shin.
see in episode
Fuck,
1
no,
all
wait,
of
it's-
the past
Gin, Rei, Ki, Q, Shin, Ko, K. Ikuyo. Not all humans are cool. Let's talk about murder the better. Fair, yeah.
moon cats.
But I like
including
to believe
Ko,
humanity
the
is
white
cool.
cat. Though by modern day, the cats who all team up with the girls are all different, but there's still no white cat, which I guess, duh, the white heart sphere is gone. So there wouldn't be one, except if we look at the awkward eye catch, we see the white cat right alongside the modern moon cats, which leads me to believe that Ko is still alive. So where is the white moon cat Ko? Well, we see that the cats have a human form that they can shift to back and forth. Even in their human form, they still keep their color scheme. So, what human character do we know that wears mostly white and seemingly has more knowledge than any other character? That's right, Kanamori. I submit to you that the masked man helping the
Bye.
Earthwolves, the
It
teacher's
is, though
aide
it's not
to the
pronounced
Folk
so in
Arts
Chinese
Club,
Mandarin.
Okay,
Kanamori,
that's fair.
is in fact the very same white moon cat who formerly partnered with Fuyuse. Not to mention there is this one piece of art that shows the wolf dudes, and look who's there, it's a little white moon cat. Yeah,
My
I don't
theory
have
bait.
much more to that theory aside from all that, but I literally needed to say it somewhere or I would explode. I also liked when they finally switched up the ending. They kept the same song, but you can tell that there are different.
Oh, God.
Like they've remade the character models. You can tell, especially on Haruka, that her twin tails are like slightly different. Instead of ending in a line, there's a bit more of like a curve. And I don't know. I just thought that was really cool, and I liked seeing all the girls. It's pretty neat.
The conclusion.
Home stretch, people. I was trying to figure out how
nope.
exactly to explain this concept without sounding biased, but personally, the distinction between high art and low art is stupid, and I hate it. Basically, anything that's meant for the majority of the public to enjoy is considered low art. This includes all mainstream
Aw,
movies,
man, come on,
TV
Luke,
shows,
stop
books,
that.
video games, and so on. While high art is meant for a select group of fancy people to enjoy being fancy or whatever. Again, personally, I hate this distinction because it roots itself in classist and, quite frankly, bullshit hierarchical norms. Which is why I think it's really cool that Murakami plays
Yeah, there
around
we
with
go.
it. To him, he is simply creating art. Whether it is high or low is of no concern to him. And in 2010, when he wanted to bring a slice of contemporary Japanese art with him to Versailles, what's more representative of Japanese art than
Yeah.
anime? I actually had an argument with my brother recently about anime and such. He says that it's all garbage, and while yes, it is fun to joke about anime being trash and such, taking those jokes seriously just deprives people of some of the most
I would
touching
word
and
this
realistic
Conclusion a little
stories.
differently now,
Because
but I
anime
do
is
still
art. It is
Like,
real art.
it's-
Not all
yeah.
of that art is good.
It's
but
yeah.
the gems are some of the most brilliant and radiant you will find. This may not be one of those stories that's a hidden gem, but all the
No,
same,
it's not, but-
Six Hearts Princess is a work of art. Over the course of researching and writing this, I ordered the art books from Studio Ponkotan just to see what was in there. Every page has details on the world and its environment. Every character
Ah!
has little blurbs about their personality, a lot that we don't even see in the show. There are so many
Ah.
talented people who work on this series, and despite its jank production line and budgeting issues, it still manages to look as good as
Yeah,
it
'cause
does.
it does
These
look
animation
incredible.
frames and
You
still
guys
images
just
are
aren't philosopher
proof that there
kings
are
and therefore
people
won't
who
understand
care
the
about
art
this
I like.
show.
True.
Despite
Some
all
people
of my
like,
criticisms of this
yeah,
series,
man.
the passion and love shines through. Everyone involved in actually
See,
creating this
loop
project,
head.
the animators, the writers, the storyboard artists,
see.
the voice actors, deserves to be acknowledged for their efforts and deserve to be acknowledged as artists. Studio Ponkotan actually seems to be getting their ducks in a row, having set up a Twitter account and started posting recently. And there's this tweet that's basically saying they're starting on episodes again. We've got 8 more episodes waiting for us if they're sticking to the 15 episode plan. I doubt any future episodes will retroactively make this show a masterpiece,
See what,
but
let
I'm
me-
excited. And hey, maybe when the show is finished, I'll come back to it and do a proper review of the anime itself. But for now, thank you so much for watching and following me on this journey that I still can't believe I actually did. Oh, and look, I finally did the YouTuber, 1 hour video essay thing. Oh my god. I thought my first hour video would be about Tokyo Mew Mew, but nope.
God,
Yeah.
listen to me
Thank you for
being
watching.
so awkward.
Have a good day.
That's cute. I was being a little awkward baby YouTuber. That's neat. Alright, what else can we watch? Oh no, 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 no.
There were a
Nope,
surprise.
stop. Be quiet, Red.
Did before.
I don't want to
This
be. I don't want to gink your views. I am, yeah, also a fan of exploring niche genres and works. Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. God, I have so many videos. Oh God. Oh God. But like when I go back and it's all the cringe, but I love it. It's yeah. Oh, big yawn. I do wonder, 'cause there are a lot of things that I kind of want to do and stuff when it comes to like, because I have been having so much fun streaming, and I think it's because of like the interactivity that comes with it and stuff, especially seeing people who are so excited about like the things that I do, which I still can't believe because oh my god. Yeah, there we go, loop. Yeah. Nope, that was sorry, I didn't mean to take away your body. Okay, let's see. Ground. Okay, let's see. I feel like, let's see. Can I get a couple shades lighter, but not quite? Oh, no. Oh, no, I didn't want it to select. Let's see. Can I get, yeah, okay. Okay. Couple of shades lighter. Bop. Okay. Okay. Okay, there we go. There's loop. Seeing people enjoy one's work is always satisfying to creator. It really is, and it makes me, I'm so incredibly just grateful and happy, and it's really cool. Okay, hey Luke, let's give you your details. So let's... Okay, let's see. 泣いてたって笑って明日迎えてゆこう決めた伝え詰めてだもめても君の心を守るため why'd that go away? そばにいよ Why do you do that? Aha! Okay, yeah. I think that's what I can do there. No, that doesn't quite look right, but I'm on the right track, I think. Let's see. And also, what's another video that can be watched? Something that I can, like, commentate and talk about. We're gonna learn about 2% glass.
I'm gonna be honest, I've already kind of lost it with this one. So, my second year of college, I had to take another art class, since I think I needed 2 art credits in order to graduate with a degree in fine arts, or something. Don't quote me on that, I don't know how college works. Anyway, it was either ceramics or glass blowing. I responded with, I like fire, and that was that. Sometimes, college is taking a class on a whim and ending up with a new hyperfixation. I heard about a show called Glass Lip, was told it was about glass blowing, and that's what all the descriptions I found said, and, well, I was really excited, because glass blowing is an amazing art, with a long and rich history of trial and error, and I wanted to see it as a show. I didn't get my glass blowing anime. Instead, I got whatever the fuck this was, holy shit! This will not be segmented like my normal reviews because that would be giving the show too much credit. The story follows a group of friends in a small city that hits a bump in their relationship when a mysterious transfer student shows up. He's rude or whatever and singles out Toko, our main character, because she has a special power. This show still makes me so angry. She can occasionally see flashes of the future, and the transfer student, Kakeru, can hear bits of the future, and they come together to try and solve the mystery and stop.
You just gotta don't push yourself too hard. Take it easy for a little bit.
And Kakeru has these 2 other versions of himself that talk to him in 2 episodes.
Alternate.
I can't really explain the plot of this show, you see, because it has no plot. It has no overarching story. It has no series of events that come together to form a coherent narrative. It feels as if we are literally just shown bits of these characters living their normal lives, which could be cool. But in order for those snapshots of domestic life to work, you still need some kind of story to follow. You also need to show us enough of the characters to make the audience care. I don't know anything about these people. There's a pretty fashion girl, a book girl, a Genki protagonist girl, mystery boy, sports boy, and the dude who has a crush on glasses girl. And are these people even friends? It doesn't always feel like it. I don't know. There's a plot line with these 2 characters, Yanagi and Yukinari. They have different family names, but seemingly live in the same house. I was so confused, so I had to look it up, and yeah, they're apparently step-siblings. And then Yanagi has a crush on Yukinari, and I thought, oh great, I love an incest plotline, she said sarcastically. But then it sort of, like, goes nowhere. they don't even act like siblings, which I guess is a blessing. Did they know each other beforehand and their parents got married? And what is the situation here? I don't understand. And at some point, Yanagi tells Toko that she likes Yukinari, and Toko is like, oh, you two would look so cute together. Which is like, presumably, Toko knows that they're step-siblings, so that shouldn't be your first response. I literally feel like these two could just have not been related to each other at all, and it would have had the same impact on the story, because I'll be real, it just kind of goes nowhere. Yukinari likes Toko, and Yanagi is sad about that, and nothing has anything to do with the fact they are step-siblings. Why is that a thing? I don't understand. There's this cafe that the gang hang out in, and it took me
Water's good.
way
Everyone
too long
hydrate.
to realize that this dude, Hiro, does not just work there part-time, but also lives there. This is his grandfather. Maybe? I don't fucking know. This dude doesn't have a name at all. Also, Hiro has an older sister who just got her driver's license, and the visible scratches and dents on her CGI car are the highlight of the entire show. Like, wow, that's funny, and a good bit of characterization. What else do we get with her? We see her leaving a hospital room crying, and it doesn't get brought up for several episodes. And then we learn her boyfriend, which we didn't know she had, was in the hospital, but he's fine now. Also, we literally never see him or hear his voice, so what the fuck was the point of that entire bit? Also, sister, who I can't remember if she has a name, she probably doesn't, keeps calling this girl Sakshi tragic glasses girl because she has some vaguely defined illness or weak immune system or something. We never actually see it affecting her life at all. Toko gets a vision of Sakshi in the hospital and is worried, and I thought, oh my god, is that a conflict? A storyline? But no, Yanagi sprains her ankle off screen. And then later, Sakshi goes to the hospital for literal routine tests. What kind of tests require her to stay in the hospital for a few days? Nothing comes of this fact. Though Sakshi does say that she loves both Hiro and Toko, and Hiro also likes Sakshi, so I don't know.
Okay, so I got a comment. I got a comment on this video by someone who very clearly, like, watched Glass Slip and loved it, and so it was like a fucking, like, multi-paragraph long comment that was about, like, basically explaining all, like, every single thing in the show and, like, what it means and the symbolism, and fucking pulled out, like, quotes from the director or whatever. I don't even know. It was a lot, and I responded to it with, like, hey, I'm so glad that you enjoyed this show. I did not, but I'm glad that you did. And then they replied to that with, oh, sorry, and then deleted their comment. But the one thing that I thought was really, really funny was, like, the accidental homophobia. Because in their big, long, giant comment explaining to me how actually Glass Slip is perfect and makes sense and is good, actually, they said that, the glasses girl, they said that she was, like, moving on from her crush on Toko to get into a relationship with Hiro, and I'm just like, that's homophobic. Like, what do you mean? Like, she's, and actually, now I have a bit more, like, knowledge on things, and that actually makes sense if that was the intended, I guess, like, message of that storyline. Not everything needs to be a message, but, like, if that was the intended through line of that story, that's actually culturally specific homophobia. Because, so in Japan, there is the concept of Class S, and basically what that is, like, it's kind of saying that girls are, like, it's okay and expected almost for girls to have, like, close, almost intimate friendships with one another, and, like, that's just a normal thing. and but they are specifically supposed to so basically they're supposed to play date their friends until like they're ready to get a boyfriend and shit. But so leading to, in Japan, the idea that lesbians are just immature and stuff. So like that's a cultural idea. So if that was the case, then that means Glasslip was like that's just really funny that somebody wrote out this whole comment saying, no, actually it's really good. And one of their reasons for like explaining the story and whatever is the fucking homophobia. That's really, really funny, honestly. Like, what the hell, guy? So there's that. See, boop. Nice. Okay, back to black. So, yeah. Culturally appropriate homophobia.
I guess I'm grasping at straws here. Kakeru, transfer student, lives in a tent seemingly just for fun. Also, Boo-hoo, he moved around a lot and never made friends as a kid because his mom is a pianist who did concerts all over the world. Except we never really see this affecting Kakeru because we don't have a moment to just, like, stop and explain things. Someone please explain something. Oh my god. There are vague themes about friendship and growing up, and Toko is anxious about the friend group drifting apart since it's their last year of high school, and you would think that's the main conflict with their future vision and such, right? No, it only ever comes up in vague conversations every now and then everyone moves on. There is not a single idea or concept in this show that is properly explored or fleshed out. The art and animation is fine, but it isn't good enough to justify how long some of these shots are. There are so many times where the characters will be talking and the camera just wanders off, looking at anything that would be easier to animate than two people talking. Speaking of the art, the direction is
movie I watched
baffling.
Some time ago,
I know I've said this about other shows and how they feel like scenes just kind of happen, but I really, honest to God,
yeah, it's a thing. Like a lot of the time in, like, there's a reason that a lot of Yuri shows take place in high school and are about high school students because, like, it's playing, it's class S. It's playing into that trope and cultural norm. So it's like being gay isn't normal, but like girls can totally like vibe with their besties. I guess I could feel that quite a bit in my own middle school as well, with how the expectation of no homosexuality removes same-sex boundaries. Yeah, I guess in a way. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, wait, I gotta remove the... Yeah.
Mean it here. We jump around between all these different characters doing separate things with no rhyme or reason. Like, okay, here. We see Sachi walking into the hospital. Cut to Kakeru picking up the phone at home and then leaving. Cut to the cafe for a second, and I don't know what's happening here. Cut back to Kakeru's home, and we see his mom giving his dad a massage for some fucking reason. Then cut back to Sachi in the hospital. What on earth is the direction here? I need to know who thought this was a good idea. These scenes can last literal seconds, and it's so disorienting.
This is good.
What was the thought process behind this? A lot of the backgrounds look sort of unfinished, too. There's a sort of pencil washed out effect with a white fade around the borders that honestly make everything look like a flashback sequence, and I'm still debating on if this was a creative choice or a budget issue.
Let's see.
I actually can't tell which. What I can say is that these weird still shot frames are so weird and used so goddamn often, not even in important moments or anything. They just happen. all the time
Radiant.
in succession. Also, shout out to the garbage AMV tier shit, Lordy
Let's see.
B. But the biggest offense of this show, to me personally, is why is it called Glass Lip? How come every single goddamn article I found summarizing this show says that Toko is an aspiring glass artisan? No, she isn't. That is not a primary element of the show. It's barely a secondary element. Most episodes have 2 scenes in the hot shop at most, and nothing ever happens in them. Toko just helps out her dad with gathering bits. Toko drawing the school chickens is a more essential part of the plot than anything to do with glass blowing or torch work. It's not even really brought up at all. We just see Toko making a bead or helping her dad on occasion for like 2 seconds, and then we move on. Glass is supposed to be her medium, I guess, for seeing the future, but nah, not really. It looks like the animators didn't really care about the difference in pipes, because here it seems like Toko is using a normal punty, but then later we see she made a cup. You need
I
a
made a
blow
cup
pipe for
today.
that. But I don't see a hole on this pipe, so it has to be a punty, right? How did you get the mouth open if you didn't have someone to transfer the glass to? I know it's possible
Funny
to
story, but the Dr. Stone
get
bit,
the mouth open if
like, I was watching Dr. Stone as it aired, and, like, the week, and, like, the semester, when the new semester started, and I had my glass-blowing class, Dr. Stone, like, that's when that episode of Dr. Stone aired, like, with the glass-blowing thing, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing that now! Yay! I'm not back very long because I have to put some spices in the main course. I'm making a side. Hopefully there won't be any weirdness that makes you think I'm a conspiracy theorist. No, I mean, yeah, hopefully. I also hope that too, because, oh my god. Anyway, also, by the way, so Glass Lip, the name of the, I'll explain it later.
if you didn't have someone to transfer the glass to. I know it's possible to do solo, but it's also very hard, so am I just expected to believe this girl is on the same level as Dale Chihuly? What is she doing here? She's just rolling a lump of glass on paper. Yeah, but you can tell this was supposed to be folded up in wet newspaper, huh? Because it sucks. But like, you use the paper to shape the glass, typically while you're blowing into it. But she isn't blowing into it here. There is no blowpipe. No one is helping her. What the fuck is she doing here? Where is the glory hole in this hot shop? Do they use the furnace as a glory hole? And if I see one, haha, glory hole joke in the comments, I'm going to pick you up and throw you into one. See how you like 2050 degrees of heat. We also see her doing some torch work, and why is the torch just sticking straight up? At first I thought, oh, maybe it's just a different kind of torch than I'm used to, but then, oh yeah, the heat. Torches point away from you so that your face isn't directly in the goddamn fire. What the fuck? Did the animator see a glass shop once and drew everything from memory? Oh my god, the more I look at this, the more angry I am. Why is there anything glass blowing related at all? It has no relevance and all of it is wrong anyway. I made a compilation of every glass scene in this show, and I was
just want to put
very
the art and six
generous
very
with what
cute. Yes.
counted as a glass scene. And out of 13 episodes, roughly 25 minutes each,
Oh, the glass
we only get
compilation.
7 minutes of glass blowing. This video is longer than the glass compilation I made in a show named after glass blowing. Raven did the math, and again,
So actually, fun thing. So, a glass lip, is actually, so when you have a vessel that you're working on, like a cup or something, and you want the opening of the cup to have, color on it, that's called it's called a lip wrap, is when you wrap a different color glass around the lip of the cup. And so that's what that is. Yeah.
Again, in a very generous estimation, the anime named Glass Slip from 2014 has 2% glass. 2%!
I just wanted a glass blowing anime, but no, I don't get that. I get whatever this is. This teen romance generic Anohana copy bullshit. I don't know. I didn't find the bad anime. The bad anime found me. I just wanted something with glass blowing man.
So another thing. So oh my god, my throat. Anyway, another thing that I thought way too hard about. So it's kind of an old time, like by old time I mean Roman era stereotype that glass blowing is like a man's art, right? And even like into modern day, like there is the kind of stereotype of, instead of doing like cool glass blowing, like hardcore women are more so suited for torch work, so doing beads and marbles and things like that. And obviously, like, that's not a constant stereotype, and in fact I've seen more women doing like glass blowing stuff than like men, but yeah, that's not the point. But the point is, I was like, did this show fucking do like Roman era sexism? Are you fucking kidding me? Because Toka is like almost always on the torch. I still can't how could she be in the hot shop like alone? That's not safe. And all that, but like the fact that she mainly uses the what the fuck? The torch instead of like other things, and also the things we see, and like he assists her dad and stuff. And I don't know, that was like a thought I had, and then when I explained that to Raven, they were like, hey man, I think you're overthinking it. I doubt that they thought that far ahead. And I'm like, you're right, but I'm still mad. So there's that.
That's all I want. I want a sports anime style glass blowing. This show is confusing.
Yep. Let's see. Boop, boop. I feel like I have to make leaves fall in order for this shot to like really work. I also need to add in the path as well. And Loop needs a glow. Ugh, I don't know what to do for that. Dang it. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, and I never really have. Cool. You know, let's watch this famous piece of art that I created several years ago. Animating looks hard. I mean, yes, like, yes. But it's not like it's not unapproachable. I mean, there are a lot of things that are animating. Even like doing little flip books that's animating. Let's see. Oh god, Loop, your head. Just gonna yoink that. Well, and this I haven't even really been animating. I've just been drawing the tree. Let's see, and then path. Okay.
Anyway.
If you don't know Pretty Cure, here's a quick summary. It's a magical girl battle anime that started in 2004. The best comparison I can make is it's basically Power Rangers but with girls and animated. That means it's a Monster of the Week type thing, with each season being its own separate story with new themes, characters, artists, and the annual crossover event. Smile Pretty Cure aired in 2012, and it was the first Precure season I watched, and it's still one of my favorites. The characters are charming, the art and animation is beautiful, and it manages to create some very powerful and poignant moments. In 2015, it was announced that Netflix was doing an English dub of the series, rebranding it Glitter Force. So, basically it was given the 4Kids treatment. I have a lot to say about Glitter Force. Some things I could say now, some that I'll need to rewatch both series in order
And now
to
I
properly
have,
put
and
into
it was
words,
torture.
which I do want to do in the future because, like I said, I have a lot of feelings. Moving on. Starting from the 6th season onward, Pretty Cure ending sequences have been a 3D animated dance segment. They were a little wonky
video
at
from
first,
Glitter
and
Force
there's
endings
some
first
weirdness
I've
every
seen.
now
That's
and then,
a lot of
but
people.
for the most part,
that
they've
was
gotten
the first
better
one
each
that they
season.
saw from me.
Pretty Cure seasons also
Because it fucking blew up. Like, genuinely, it just went... And I'm like, oh, dear. Yeah. It's neat.
always have 2 different ending songs and dances, changing around the halfway point. I don't think anyone really knew what to expect when Glitter Force came around. Either they would cut the credits altogether, or they would just play some generic girl power pop over it, which is what they did. At first. They first used footage from the second ED, which is weird, but whatever. But it only plays for like the first 5 episodes. On episode 6, they changed the sequence using the first ED footage. And I was like, what the heck? They have 20 episodes since they split the season in half, and they already used both endings. What are they gonna do for the rest of the show? I wish I didn't get an answer. Opinions on Glitter Force as a dub and as a standalone show vary, but one thing everyone agrees on is what the hell happened? Everything imaginable has gone wrong. The new models have much less rigging, which leads to clipping, broken elbows, and this one weird eye glitch Piece has going on, and so much more. I would say that it looks like it was made in Miku Miku Dance, but that's honestly an insult to Miku Miku Dance. Before, every little bit of hair and accessory was animated, bouncing gently with the dance, but now they either don't move or flail wildly. I'm pretty sure the smile glitter packed thing is just a texture now. Piece's hair moves in a way that I find physically revolting. Like, what the heck? Compare this to the way her hair moves in the original animation. There's a lot more flow to it. It straight up looks like a different texture. Like, if I were to touch it, it would feel different. Speaking of Piece, she keeps getting snubbed for these. For
200,000
some reason, they
views.
decided
I
to
actually made a
mute the
video
colors
once
of
that
the
got,
new model, making it
110
this
views.
ugly
But then I
greenish
kind of
yellow.
abandoned making
Well,
videos.
You should
strangely
make
enough,
more- you
March's
should make
hair
videos
seemingly
again,
is
dude.
brighter. Like, it
yeah,
looks like
do
a
it for the
highlighter.
love of the game.
This makes me want to scream, March, are you okay? Speaking of which, March also gets the short end of the stick because her hair is the longest, which causes problems with some
You
of
gotta
the
do it
dances.
for the
Love of the
It's
game.
mostly seen
I
here
do
where
all
the
this
girls are
because
bending
I
their knees,
love to
except for
explain
March,
things
who
for
stays
hours
up.
on end.
I couldn't figure out why until I realized they were trying to keep her hair from touching the ground. Probably because they didn't rig it and it would just clip through. There was also something else weird that I couldn't place until I looked at the originals again, but March's ponytail is never directly in line with her. It is always curved slightly to the side, not just in the ending sequences, but in all promotional art and figures and everything. Her hair is moved to the left because this shape does not read as a human person. Nice hard shadows, bro. All of the faces are stuck in a haunting mockery of a smile. Their mouths are almost always partly open, and it is so uncanny it hurts. And then they keep winking. It's so bad. Why do they keep winking? Oh god. Their elbows are the most noticeable thing, I think. Like, when a character bends their arms, it crunches so badly. This straight up looks like my amateur 3D animation. Except I was an amateur working with 3D modeling for the first time, and this is a major corporate production. The environments are so dull too. Like, we have a black background, a white background, a bland space background, and clip art City Central. A lot of the characters are also off sync too. Like with the bus here, it feels like it's going faster than the camera panning across the girls. And then here, when it's cutting between the characters, they don't even cut between the characters. They literally just replaced the model. You can see the background.
I have so many different hobbies and
Movements
kind
are
of can't
so
follow them all
erratic,
at once.
it feels like
I
the key poses were just
feel
put in,
you,
and then they let
dude.
the computer interpolate the rest without any human touch-up. The camera work is also super jarring. Sometimes they're on a spinning platform, which is really hard to follow. These models and environments do not mesh together, so having the characters move super erratically while spinning around honestly hurts to look at. Every time the camera moves, it's getting closer to the models, with their cold, dead eyes staring into my soul. They look worse up close. Please stop bringing them close to me. Oh, there's
I
this
did
one
read a
part where
comment
they're
on this
supposed to
video
do the
about how
classic
these are
jump in
meant to
the
put a
air and
bit-
freeze
Yeah,
frame,
so-
except their hair still moves while they're floating. How did anyone approve this? Did no one see this? Side note, but the
So, okay, I have so much more to say about these ending sequences now that I've done research and I know more about things that were going on behind the scenes. Not a lot, but I mean, there is obviously that one update and stuff of like somebody fucking contacting me. I still can't believe that. But also just like things involving Blush and just the general, it's kind of everything. I have a lot to talk about when I do my Glitter Force video, because there's a lot to discuss. And I'm excited to do so. Hell yeah. Let's see, how does this look? Yeah.
choreography is also not good. I
It
don't
is
wanna
very
say
funny how
sexual
many
because it
comments I got on this
isn't, but there's a
video
lot
that are
more, like,
very
hip
clearly from
rotation.
children who are
I guess
just
it
mad I
boils
made
down
fun
to a difference
of their
between
Oshi.
cultures, but even then, the dances do not feel like they
And
match
it's
the
like,
song.
oh. I should have shown this to Carl.
It's more like a middle school play production where the teacher put a student in charge of the choreography.
I say that because I was in charge of my high school play production choreography. It was hell, and nobody wanted to listen to me, and also, I'll be honest, I didn't actually really do, like, choreography. I just kind of thought of it on the spot, like, for every song, which is completely my fault for why that part was a bad time. But, yeah, that's what that comparison is.
The songs and dance feeling off would be whatever if they just used the original footage, but this is original animation. Using original songs. They couldn't have made it more in sync, or the teams worked together, or like anything? This one shot is so funny because it looks like the camera guy is falling asleep. Like, I know it's supposed to be looking at their feet as they dance, but they aren't really doing anything particularly impressive. Sunny's hair has a hidden void, which I imagine is akin to Shedinja, the Pokemon. I have tried to find out who made this, what studio it was outsourced to, who directed the 3D sequences, the animation program that was used, literally anything. The most I found was the name of the choreographer, but I doubt she made the animation. I am so confused, and half of the reason I'm being so harsh here is that none of this was necessary. They had 2 whole ending sequences. That was all they needed. They just needed to write a shitty girl power pop song and move on. But no, human beings made the decision to go out of their way to create this, looked at it and said, yup, this looks good. Especially right next to the good animation of the first two endings, like no one would notice. Good lord! They don't even play any credits during these sequences.
If you
the
would
credits
be
come
a
after.
Precure, what
Why are
would you
these
be
here?
and where your fairy
I
be?
don't understand.
I don't know. Well, it
Anyway,
depends.
here's like the one good shot.
Like on
that
what you
I
mean by a
actually kind of
Precure.
liked in all of them. I've watched all of them.
I mean, my name would be
closely.
Cure Cake.
More times than
'cause,
I
you know,
probably should have. God, the fact that they doubled down for season 2 and was like, nope, we've made this choice. We're continuing. Oh my god. Of course they learned their lesson for Doki Doki and just kept the original the whole way through, but... Oh, god. Okay, but
still have a
unironically, the
shameful
main
memory.
Glitter Force
Oh, yeah.
theme is kind of a jam.
No, they look so stiff and bad. It's so ungood. It's not good, man. Everything about it is so bad. Yawn. I don't know what else to watch. Ugh. I'm animating. I mean, I think we've gone through all my long form videos. R.I.P. I do wonder. I don't know. How long have I been going? Almost 2 hours. Man. Ugh. Oh, I'm yawning. Is whatever. Yeah, tell me what other things I should do on stream and stuff. Like, 'cause, you know, that's cool. And, yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just vibing. Hopefully I don't run out of steam for this animation. Ugh. Although I may have run out of steam for today. Maybe stream games? Yeah. I need to, man. I wish that Magia Etc. was, on Steam already. Because I wanted to, like, stream that and shit, but, it's not on Steam yet. Have you played the Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4? I have not, because I did not, I've been trying not to spend money on things that, like, aren't essentials, just because, I'm, you know, trying to be a responsible adult and trying to keep, you know, just all that stuff. I'm just trying to be fruitful, or, because it feels like I don't have a lot of, like, extra funds, you know, so it's like I want to be responsible, so I have not played Deltarune Chapter 3 or 4, but I mean, like, I do have it on my wish list, and I think, isn't there a thing where, like, people can, like, buy you games on your wish list? I have no idea, but if anyone wants to do that, like, yeah, then I would absolutely play Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4. Cake is broke. Yeah. Hey, buddy, like, why do you think I have the, like, medical thing here? And it's not like I can't pay for it without, like, you know, donations, but at the same time, it's man, money's hard. Being an adult is hard. Do I have Deltarune on here? Wait a minute, I don't know. I don't see it on my wish list. Delta. No, not add to cart. Stop. No. I get it. I'm also broke. Yeah, who isn't, man? Okay, so it is on my wish list. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. I should have it, like, I don't know. I would like to stream games here, though. I would like to do a lot of things. Especially if other people enjoy it. Fucking is Magia Etc. here? Like, come on, man. So I could play that. I mean, Magia. Come on. Steam version when? Come on. Yeah. Yeah, man. Things are cool. What? It's, okay, well, this actually hurts having this in the background. But let's see. What are some things on my wish list that are fun that I think could be cool? I have Blue Reflection, like, you know, from the anime Blue Reflection Ray. It seems like some kind of RPG thing. I have no idea. I'd love to see more streams of Flash games like old Nick and Disney games and such. Yeah, that could be fun. I could try the Steam wish list considering I'm always spending money on games. Aw. Well, if you do, like, there's absolutely no pressure at all, but if you do that, like, that's incredibly kind. I have Untitled Goose Game on my wish list. Here Comes Nico, which just looked cute. Fear and Hunger, which I wouldn't be able to stream on YouTube. At least not without a mod. Let's see. Unpacking, Monster Camp, Omori, Gloomwood. Oh, Heroes Hour Contract. That's a Magical Girl game. Ooh, and the art looks fucking cool. Ah, there's so many Itch.io games too. Ah, there's so many games. Wow. Oh, no, maybe I could do Cassette Beasts. I have Cassette Beasts. I've played Cassette Beasts. I fucking love Cassette Beasts. Holy shit. Or the Room series, which is a cool puzzle game type thing. It's like an escape room, but like sort of. Let's see, Slime Rancher 2. Magical Girl Celesphona, which is like some kind of RPG maker thing. Oh, God, of course there are skirt close-ups. Oh, man. You know, I don't know why I was expecting better. Oh, there's Arzette and the Jewel of Faramore. That I really want to play because it looks really fun. Turnip Boy Robs a Bank, of course. Cold Read Lost Cartridge by the same person who did Lily's Well, which I fucking loved. Peaks of Yore. Oh, I should do Magical Warrior Diamond Heart as sometime. Let's see. I have so many things. Oh, there's web fishing. I don't know what web fishing is. I just see that other people like it. There's a game that my friend wanted me to wishlist called 77p Egg Wife, and he was like, yo, if you stream that, you will get banned. And I'm like, oh. Okay. What the fuck? There's also Bear's Restaurant, Me-Side. I want to play Me-Side so much. Let's see. 20 Small Mazes. Of course. Magical Girl Dash. What is that? Oh, it's cute. There's so many games, man. Of course, Date Everything. I would love to play Date Everything. Because the art looks really cool. Like, damn. I don't know. There are a lot of things I could do. Let's see. What do I have in my actual Steam library? I feel like I should like just have my Steam library on screen, but I don't know. There's Field of Snow, which I liked a whole lot. Balan Wonderworld, fucking god. Which I got for the bit, and then I played it, and I'm like, hey, like, it's bad, but, like, I'm having fun with it, so, you know. Seduce Me, the Otome. Yo, okay, Seduce Me was a thing that I, like, how many people would tune in for a cringe-ass stream about a cringe-ass game that I liked when I was a cringe-ass teenager? That also has really popular and successful voice actors in it before they were popular and successful voice actors. Like, I mean, come on. The fucking Jonah Scott's in it, and, like, oh my god. Then the Rune games. Is any of this resonating with people? I have no idea. Oh, the Jesus Christ RPG trilogy. Of course, of course. If you made a Magical Girl series, what would it be and who would your characters be and what? I actually have thought about, like, doing a video that is just talking about some of my Magical Girl characters and the ideas that I have so far with them, and just kind of any of that stuff. I think that would be really fun. I don't exactly know how to, like, go about it, though, and I need to play BioShock. Goddamn. Let's see. I have Amazing Frog. I have Undertale. Yeah, of course. Turnip Boy commits tax evasion. I enjoy hearing about it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was playing Subnautica Below Zero. Sonic Adventure DX. Let's see. Psychonauts. Oh, god, I fucking love Psychonauts. I need to keep playing Pathologic 2. Griffin, my friend, I'm so sorry. I also have been having a world-building project with Magical Girl elements for a while and wants to make stories set in it. Hell yeah, dude. You should absolutely do that. I Am Bread, Human Fall Flat. A big yawn. Yeah. Cool. And it's also like, man, just kind of thank you for, like, following me and stuff and supporting me, and that's really cool, and I want to try and make it worthwhile for people. So if there's something that you want to see me do, like, let me know. Maybe one day I'll have, like, a consistent stream schedule. I don't know. Anyway. Love to hear about your OCs. Aw, thank you. Oh, yay. Maybe one day, because first I'd have to, like, script something out, and then that's, like, a whole thing, and like, yeah, Gotcha Club. I think Gotcha Life, I don't know, but it's cute. And it is good for, like, making character designs and stuff. It's a good baseline for that. Consistency is for the privileged. You are right, though. You're so right. Yeah. Anyway. You know what I need to do? I need to figure out how to do super chats on YouTube. That would be so cool. Like, people, like, send things and then a little voice plays. How to do super chats. That'd be really neat. and money. What was that Rugrats Flash game? I feel like I remember. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll have a day where we're just playing Flash games and stuff. I don't know. Oh my god, yawn. I hate when a yawn is like involuntary. Well, I mean, I guess all yawns are involuntary, but like more involuntary. Do you mind if I ask what this animation is? I swear the character with the witch hat and eye patch I've seen in a black and white indie game. Is that a group of your favorite characters? So, these guys are from a game called In Stars and Time. It is a black and white game. It is incredibly fucking good. It will change your life. And I recommend that you play it. Play it for yourself. But also watch my playthrough of it. It should be in a playlist somewhere. And it's good. It's incredibly good. You will, like, you will. You should play it. Play it. You know, someday, we want to play the prototype version of In Stars and Time called Start Again. Start Again, a prologue. So, maybe one day we'll get there. Well, not maybe. We will. But, you know. Yeehaw. Yep. Oh my god, I'm hot. Man, maybe I should go for a walk. I don't know. Walks are nice, though. Anyway. Cool. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Oh, My Friendly Neighborhood. I would check out My Friendly Neighborhood. I know about it, and I know the whole story, but I haven't played it. And it seems fun. So, hey, I can add that to my wish list. And I'm trying. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to do. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm doing it. Supposedly. Cool.